Bullet Time. This was a pilot that came out around San Diego Comic Con. It was created and written by Eddie Alcazar. Alcazar. It is very, very 90s animation inspired. I'd specifically say like something that could play on Nickelodeon. Particularly everyone's saying it's like Ren and Stimpy and Rocco's Modern Life. Let's not mince words. It is very Spunko. But like a girl said in my college about people comparing SpongeBob with being a Spumco ripoff, she said, well, it's not like Spumco's using it very well right now anyway, so who cares? And you know what? Truer words. It's a quote I think about all the time. It's like, it's not like they're using it, so who cares? And I agree. But anyway, it is about this character, Bullet, who is a dog who looks like Spuds McKenzie, if you know who that is. And he needs to play a video game, I guess, in a tournament. He plays it, and all sorts of crazy things happen while he's playing the game. As well as the game is done in a different animation style from the animation, which is actually really cool. It looks very inspired by the video game Clay Fighter, if you know what that is, which I thought was actually cool. I think this very much, it actually reminded me of maybe this is insulting, but it actually reminded me of, okay. It reminded me of a Ren and Stimpy like show, if someone in the chat can mention it. I will leave it towards the end maybe, but it reminded me of very odd 90s animation and how gross that stuff could be. But I also think one of the things about 90s animation that I know, like, people are like, back in my day things were better and all this stuff, but here's what really that stuff did is it really, I think a lot of times, because of people say it's better and all that stuff, but what happened in 90s animation is 80s animation was really not very good, and that was sort of like, it was a very quality decrease, and it seems like 90s animation like came back with a fucking vengeance, and the animation in this is pretty crazy. I know it was done by a Ren and Stimpy director, Bob Joquiz, I believe, and a lot of like 90s animation people. Apparently, oddly enough, this feels like a very animator pro animation short, but it's Eddie Alcazar who made it. Had never worked on animation before and needed to hire people to explain that language to him, and this does not feel that way. So I gotta say to him, like, mission accomplished. I rarely see someone who's not in the animation world do this good of a fucking job. I don't know if he went to the animators and said, go off, do your thing, or whatever he did, but it fucking worked. I don't care how he decided to think. I also think I've seen so many video game things, video game movies, and all this stuff. Because it's like kind of, I think in the next decade it's going to become bigger and bigger as Minecraft's going to end up being, it is the second highest grossing movie of the year right now. But I've rarely seen a video game thing that shows what happens to you while you play the game. Like conceptually on a level, it's like he has to drink liquid to keep going. He's being, he eats a weird thing off the floor, like how it's affecting him, how the game is, if he's into it, if he's falling asleep, all this stuff. And like I've really rarely seen a movie that really does. I don't think is there something, you guys can correct me on this, but I think it's an interesting concept. At least it's not happening a lot. Sometimes you see people go, yeah, cool, or react and shit, but like I've never seen like it done like visually in the way this does. I thought that was actually really interesting, and I want to give it its props for that, because I thought that was a cool concept. It's like, what is happening to you while you're playing the video game? Do you need an energy drink? Like, even on that level, it was actually pretty fascinating. I know that seems a little silly or something, but it's like stuff happen. You could be playing a video game and your mom's like bothering you to do the dishes and you're fighting this level and stuff. But I thought that was a really cool idea on a concept level. And it's definitely very gross, and it feels so 1995. I wrote this down. It feels so 95. It feels like Wildcats is going to play later in this lineup with Skeleton Warriors. Real 90s kids remember. But yeah, it remembers like why 90s animation blew up the way it did, because the animation was different and it was interesting and it was weird, and people were surprised by that, didn't expect it and stuff like that. So it came out of nowhere for a lot of people. It felt different, and this feels different, but it feels very honoring in the way. But I do think, and Eric Bauza was Bullet, and Tracker Todd, I guess that's the fish bulb guy and all that stuff. They did a great job as a voice actor. However, I want to say this about it. I really like this, and I would like to see more of this Bullet Time thing. it's a little confusing because bullet time is like a thing in the Matrix, and this has nothing to do with that, and the name is a little confusing on that level, because when you think bullet time, you think of Neo dodging the thing, and this feels like a couple of years old. This feels more the era of Johnny Mnemonic, not the era of the Matrix. But here's what I want to say. Like, the animation is amazing. It really surprised me on that level. I thought it really popped in certain levels there. But the thing about this is, I think this feels very pro-animator and pro-animation, but sometimes when you do this is far more about the animation and how it works than the writing. In fact, when I watched it the second time, I appreciate the writing more and all that, but I didn't really fall in love with Bullet as a character. And if my advice for, like, I know this is an independent pilot, and I know he's trying to make up a cool deal with the network so he can retain rights and stuff. I'm totally for that. That's not, but like, the reason people like Bluey is because they like that family. They like the dad, they like the mom. The reason they like the Simpsons is they like the characters. There's like, what is it about Bullet? Like, I like Ren and Stimpy. I like the animation, but I like them as characters. Same with Rocco, all that stuff. Nobody in this, like, Bullet's the only one who pops out at me. The other characters, I barely understand what the fuck their deal is. And like, Bullet is like, I love the design. I think it's like killing it. This is a great like proof of concept. But like, if you're gonna do more, like, sell him to me as a character. And I feel like a lot of these indie pilots, it's like the script writing is not as there as it honestly could be. And I feel like this one has so much promise and is so smart and is a loving tribute to the 90s and very much gets why that animation was the way it was in a way that I've not seen anything else do it. I've seen people make tributes to it, but this is like a full-on like love letter, but also understood the like grammar and the dynamics of it. But like, please give this some real character development and stuff and make me love Bullet and love to see it. It seems like the creator loved his dog, who's named Bullet, and made this into something as a tribute, but make us love that character, and then you have a cool show. You do not have that right now, but like, I do really like this a lot, and I'm probably going to recommend it to people, but I really hope they understand, like, you know, I think sometimes animation quality and writing, you know, sometimes it doesn't always match up, and there's some things that are badly animated but written well and so forth. But like, seriously, please do it, because I would like this to be closer to the 90s thing. I would not like it. I'm surprised nobody guessed this. I do not want this to be the Schmookums and Meat funny cartoon show in terms of quality, where I don't know what happened on this. But like, let's not make this the Schmookums and Meat funny cartoon show. Let's make this something different. And I hope the possibility is there for it to do it. But right now, as like a pilot and a proof that he could do it, I think it could get there, but we're just not there yet. But I do think this is really promising and really well animated. Did a great job. And of the indie pilots I've seen, this is probably one I like the most that I can remember. And I really hope this becomes something. Good luck to everyone working on this. You did an amazing job, but I do feel like if you're going to continue doing this in the show, make me love the character, because there's a reason some of these cartoon characters stay around, and it's not because the animation was good. It's because, you know, the writing and the story and the characters were there. And please think about that if you continue, because you have a really good thing going, and I would like it to be around longer. I don't want it to just be a promising pilot, then in 5 years' time I wonder what happened to it. I really think they have a cool thing here, and please make it into characters, because here's hoping, man. I really hope it works out. But congratulations. Bullet Time is a great pilot and a great animated short, and I feel happy about the future animation if this is something that's coming.